Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different for me. It is a first. It is a researched video. I researched the Queen Mary ship, and before I get started, I'm just going to say if I'm ever looking down or if you ever see my phone, I have all my notes of the Queen Mary ship on my phone and I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to get any information wrong, so I will be checking my phone from time to time. So if you see me looking down or if you see my phone, that is what I'm doing. And let's just go right into this video. So to start this video off, I'm going to give a history of the ship itself. The Queen Mary first set sail May 27th, 1936, and it is said to be bigger, stronger, and more powerful than the Titanic. The first 3 years, the ship sailed across the Atlantic for the rich and famous. When World War II hit, it became a troop ship that was known as the Grey Ghost. During the war, the Queen Mary ship actually collided with HMS Caracayeo, hitting the HMS and splitting the ship in half. Men from the HMS fell into the cold water, and of the 430 people on board, only 99 of those men survived. In 1946, the ship was then known as the Bride and Baby Voyage. The ship then took the wives and the children of the soldiers to Canada and the US near the end of the war. The ship made 13 voyages for that purpose. After the war, it was refurbished and was once again a cruise ship, and it set sail in July 1947. In 1967, the ship then retired from its cruise line duties as more extravagant ships came into play, having AC and having pools on the outside decks. Soon after, the Queen Mary ship was purchased by the city of Long Beach for nearly $3.5 million. And was soon after the luxury hotel that it is today. So now that I gave you a brief little history of the Queen Mary ship, I'm going to go through some of the hauntings that have been reported on the ship. Keep in mind that these are just sightings, and I kind of have them in jot note form. There's really no extreme detail on a certain case. But if you guys want the video, definitely let me know. I am going to do a video on one that I will be mentioning near the end because it is such a huge phenomenon of this ship. But all these hauntings are kind of just like staggered, and kind of just a brief outline of all the hauntings that, or not all the hauntings, of some of the hauntings that have been reported. So let's just get right into the haunting part of this video. Some say that the Queen Mary ship is one of the most haunted locations in the world, having more than 150 known spirits on board. Over the past 60 years, at least 49 deaths have been reported, and just keep in mind that's just what has been reported. Also remembering that it has been through war, so a lot of those spirits could also be attached to the ship as well. The first reported death on the ship was Sir Edgar Britton, who was actually the captain of the ship and died of a stroke in his cabin before it was supposed to set sail for the first time. Within the ship's engine room, at least 2 men were crushed by the doors of the door known as Door 13. The most recent case being an 18-year-old, John Petter, crew member, and in 1966 was crushed by this infamous Door 13. When walking down that hallway, it is said that you can sometimes see him and he all of a sudden vanishes at the Door 13. The first class pool has been closed for more than 3 decades, but spirits have been seen wearing 1930s swim attire wandering the decks. Splashing can be heard. Wet footprints can be seen on the ground near the pool. It is also said that you can see a little girl spirit clutching her teddy bear to her chest. The second class pool is where the infamous ghost Jackie lives. Jackie is a little girl that supposedly drowned in the second class pool, although this drowning is not reported anywhere. Jackie will sometimes squeeze the hand of passengers and is known to be a talkative spirit. In the Queen's Salon, a girl can be seen dancing in a white dress alone in the corner of the room. A lot of minor occurrences are said to be taking place in the first class rooms, such as doors slamming, knocking, phones ringing when nobody is on the other end, and seeing a man in a 1930s styled suit. Sadly, in the third class playroom, you can hear a little boy crying, and it is said to be the spirit of a little boy who died shortly after his birth. A lot of paranormal things that have been reported are knocking, door slamming, squealing, temperature changes, and things like that. It is also said that you can hear the screams of the passengers of the HMS from the boiler room in the Queen Mary. It is said that the kitchen on the Queen Mary is home to a poltergeist who was the cook during World War II. This cook was unfortunately killed and was burned in the oven during the war, when the troops were not happy with his cooking, they shoved him in the oven and burned him alive. Sometimes near that oven you can hear his screaming. Cabin B340 is the haunting that I want to do its own separate video on that I mentioned earlier. It is such a big phenomenon. If you've heard of the ship, you've definitely heard of this room. I didn't find much during my initial search of this room. It was mentioned once in all the articles that I read about the ship, but from what I did find out, it was once 2 rooms and was closed to the public due to all the hauntings that have been reported and that take place in this room. So it has just recently been reopened for guests to stay overnight. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this kind of video, let me know and I will gladly do more. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.